Hey everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important step you have to take when you're building a computer system. Choosing the right power supply. This is a very important crucial step because in the power supply world there are a lot of good power supplies and a lot of junk power supplies. You have to be very careful which one you get because if a power supply fails, it can take out your whole computer. And there's a lot of power supplies out there that are just so cheaply made that they can actually catch on fire and burn your house down. It's sad to say, but it's true. I'm going to be talking about how to choose a good power supply. When shopping for power supplies, it's really important what website you go to if you're shopping online. I highly recommend going to a site that has ratings on the products. Geeks.com does not. So this is a site that I do not really recommend, which they sell a bunch of really cheap stuff. A lot of brands I've never even heard of. Which anyway, when searching for a computer power supply, I recommend going to a site like Newegg.com because of course they have reviews on their products. This is the Diablotek DA series PSDA 500 500 ATX power supply retail, $29.99. First, you'll go ahead and take a look at the specifications. You'll see that it states 500 watts, has two 8mm fans, 20 plus 4 pin, even has a 1/6 plus 2 pin PCI Express connector, and 4 SATA connectors. And there's the input current, 8 amps, so it's not eating up a whole bunch of amperage from your wall. And it tells you the amount of connectors yet again. And if you want additional specs, you'll go to the photo section, which this is the thing I like about Newegg.com is how they have the labels in the photos. Take a look at this power supply, you'll see the amperage. This is a big important step when you're searching for a power supply. It's not all about the watts, it's about the amps. You want to have, on today's systems as of in 2010, on a mid-range system, even a high-end system too, you want to have a power supply that can put out plenty of amps on a 12-volt rail, either in single or dual 12-volt rails. This one here puts out 34 amps on the first plus 12, and it has a little less than an amp on the second 12. Kind of weird, but still good amperage. And it puts out 5 on the 5-volt rail, puts out 30 amps, and the 3.3-volt rail puts out 28 amps. And the way to calculate the wattage on each rail, what you would do is multiply the voltage by the amperage. Let's see how much wattage the 12-volt rail can handle. So we'll multiply 12 by 34. And we get a little over 400 watts. So this power supply can put out a lot of power just on the 12-volt rail alone, so that's good. It's always good to take a good look at the product you're getting. And Newegg.com always has plenty of photos of their products. You can even zoom in really close on everything with the newer products. It's really neat. Go ahead and take a look over the reviews. Which I have to say, this particular power supply is doing pretty good since it's been on Newegg for about 2 months or 3 months now. It's had 11 5-egg reviews and 3 4-egg reviews. No failures, at least on the reviews anyway, so that's pretty good for a budget unit. You'll look through and just look at what people are saying about it. Make sure there's no reports of fires, anything like that. And when you see good reviews, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and buy this power supply if it's suitable for your computer. Now we're looking at a Logsys power supply, which is a brand I do not recommend at all. Take a look here in the specs. You'll see it's advertised as a 575 watt power supply. But the thing about Logsys products that really gets me is how they come up with this wattage. You see here, total power, that's a big important number, 450 watts. Max output, 575 watts. Now, where did they get this from? This is obviously a peak rating, and they're advertising it as if it can actually put out that much sustain, which it can't. You also take a look here at the 12-volt rail, 25 amps. Not very strong if you're running SLI, which this thing says it's SLI already. Really, it's not. Who cares if it has the cable? It's just not ready because it would blow up if you tried to do SLI in most cases. You take a look here at the reviews. There's 50% of the people have had good experiences, and maybe some of them have had bad experiences later on, which they'll come back and make a new review. As you see, this one has 60% of the reviews as one egg failures, probably DOA or fires or any of that kind of stuff. Take a look at the reviews here. Go to the one egg reviews. Here's a pretty bad review for this power supply. It says soldering is terrible. Large blobs of solder that could short out against the case. There's all sorts of different stuff it's telling you. When you have reviews like this, it's obviously telling you that this power supply is not a good idea to get, because it can take out your whole computer when it fails, and even your house if it catches on fire and you're not home. Another very important thing to consider when you're buying a power supply is the warranty. Some power supplies may even have good quality, but will only give you a small amount of warranty. This Diabatech DA Series PSDA 500 watt ATEX power supply has a 3-year warranty on it, which I showed you this power supply earlier. Just to go ahead and highlight that again. It's a 3-year warranty on this thing. Here, looking at the Dynapower USA EJ-1200 A80 1200 watt power supply. I've looked over at this power supply several times. It seems like a really good quality power supply, but the thing that has stopped me from buying it is the warranty. They only give it a 1-year warranty, so if it fails after a year and a half of a year, you're toast. So it's very important to see how good of a warranty the company offers a product. With good power supplies such as Corsair and stuff, they give you at least a 3-year warranty. It's one thing you have to look at very carefully, especially when you're looking at brands that you never heard of before, which I don't recommend buying brands you never heard of before. But anyway, this A-Power supply. Remember the Dynapower unit? How the price on it was like 200 something bucks. Anytime you see a high wattage power supply with a low price, it's usually too good to be true. It's usually cheaply made, and it's just a risk for your whole computer overall. I've actually looked up this brand of power supply, A-Power, and they're not really good. They're known to have a lot of failures out of their products. So this power supply only has a 1-year warranty. Well, there you have it, everyone. The big important steps to take when buying a power supply. Another important thing is, when you get the power supply, it's good to test it before you actually install it in your computer by using a power supply tester. You can get them online for like around 20 bucks or so. There's a simple power supply tester. You plug it into the leads on the power supply. It tests your supply to make sure it's running right, all the rails and stuff are working. Because if you have a power supply that has a few rails that's not working, it could really damage your motherboard. But if you have any additional questions about finding a power supply, just let me know.